All right. Good morning. Welcome back to Big Happy Trading. It's 9:16 a.m. on Tuesday, April 21st, 2026. Boy, what already it's been a Cowboy Bronc morning here. I'll review this in just a few minutes. I am I've already gotten in some trades. I'm in and out already. And in hindsight, I'm leaving my information up on the board so I can review that real quick before we open. We got 13 minutes to open. I got to go get a coffee refill, and I will be right back. All right, I'm back. All right, it is 9 minutes before the open. Let me do a quick review. We are on the 5 minute chart. Like I said, there's a lot going on today. We'll get to the trade I did already, but I always like to start off with my bias, and I am bullish with an early sell-off, which is, pre-market. This sell-off has already happened, and if this gets sold, if there's no follow through here, and this is unimaginable to me that the all-time high is 71.88. And this morning we hit we're 5 points off the all-time high, which is just unimaginable to me. But again, I trade what I see, not what I think. There is a lot of news going out. So this morning I was watching Trump. I was watching Trump speak, which is just unbelievable. So information to be aware of. We have retail sales came out. I don't think there was anything shocking. So data was so U.S. core sales month over month actual 1.9, forecast was 1.4. Okay, so all right. So the market's going to be digesting that some, but what's happening with Trump and the war, and I think is going to have a bigger impact on this. So let's do a quick review of what I traded this morning based on the 920 EMA Cross strategy. So if you got up early this morning at 5 in the morning here, then you could have gotten a really nice trade here on this pullback, and let's just say you got in somewhere around the 71.62. You could have enjoyed a nice 20-point run. However, I was not up that early, and probably most of you were not. I was watching the market as it neared this all-time high, and then I switched to the 1-minute chart. And on the 1-minute cross here, I waited for a couple confirmation candles, and then I got in at 71.80. 71.79.75 was just called 71.80. And I put a 10-point target. I wanted to get out before Trump spoke. Now, Trump started speaking around 8:30, and then he started talking about bombing and all this kind of stuff, and it went down. So I have no regrets that I'm out of the market. If you were, what's going to happen now? I don't know. So I wanted to keep my order. So as of this morning, I was short 71.80 at 7:45 a.m. I was out about 8:15-ish, so I was in that for 30 minutes. And the reason I'm putting time there, some people are asking me, when was I in? When was I out? I would want to know that too if I'm looking at learning trading. The time to me is not a bearing as much as when you have a lot of volatility and news and stuff happening. So anyway, I'll leave this up on the board in case anyone has any questions coming up. But looking at our 5 minutes, it looks like we want to go down. And to me, if I was just making a decision based on what's in front of me, given the news and given everything, it should go down. But again, that doesn't matter. So there's 3 scenarios. There's a lot of scenarios, but I think just a quick review of the 3 scenarios that and then scenario number 1 is the one I think this relief rally gets sold off if there's no follow through. And I'm not sure how there would be any kind of follow through. Earnings were very good in a lot of companies, but there's no sign of conclusion of this war. So there's a lot of uncertainty here. Scenario 2, buyers get back in control and this thing just grinds back up to all-time high. Could happen again. Let's trade what we see, not what we think. So if the EMA, if the 1 and the 5, they begin crossing the then we trade it. That's it. So in scenario number 3 is we have no idea. War is risk and earnings. The earnings are good. War is not looking at conclusions. So it looks like to me not good. That's just my 2 cents. So so there's my Reader's Digest, guys. So we're going to trade what we see. I always like if I can get some in the bank. And if you'll remember, any of you know my rules, and I think should be every trader's rule. Rule number 1 is capital preservation. So we are 3 minutes from the open. Man, if any of you heard Trump's interview on Squawk Box, they ask a question and they're trying to get answers, but then he just runs off on a tangent here. It's unbelievable. So I think today to have any kind of, I don't think there's going to be any huge swings unless there's some kind of, what time is it in Iran? I think Vance is on his way. All right, so it's almost 5 p.m. in Iran right now, 4:58 p.m. Okay, so I mean there could be, some things happening. I don't know. We'll see. If we get this kind of curvature up here and this 1 minute wants to cross here, I mean you could take a flyer long, but if you're a new trader, I don't recommend. I think you watch this 5 minute and be patient. The 15 minutes crossing, 30 minute no. So the 15 minute crossed. They said it conflicting going, against the higher time frames is not an A plus setup. Doesn't mean you can't catch some huge moves, because you can. But you've got to be quick on the button, get in, get out, and take your lumps. Set your stop, and if it hits you, it hits you. I think I reviewed this yesterday, but I shared with somebody who's asking me on this 1 minute, you can get in this 1 minute and have risk of 2-3 points. I mean, you can be, golden. So, but now we're opening up, and there you go. I mean, I think it wants to go up, but we're gonna see. All right, so we're looking at the 1 minute so we can see the volatility here. Now keep in mind, good earnings and still potential war, and he wants to bomb Iran back into the Stone Ages. If they don't listen, that's why we don't click and go long off the open. So 71. So the Asia low is 71.49. There you go. The Asia low is 71.49. Do we hit that? Looks like we're gonna go. Is that strong support? No. But I mean, it could act as support. Let's look at the hourly real quick. So this was our Asia low. Nothing. That's not real strong. Support. Let's go. I'm gonna get rid of my trade. That was my winning trade. So We'll keep my trade history up here so we have it. But 5 minute, if you got in this 5 minute, and now that would have been in it, would have been nice, right? Again, you can't play Monday morning quarterback. Let's turn my Squawk Box news on. I had it off because I was listening to Trump. So let me turn this back on. So stocks gained on good corporate profits. Yes, yes, yes. My little guy's homesick today. He's not feeling good at all.
Shares rise 1.7% as the company is to invest up to $25 billion into Anthropic.
So if we get inside this range, 7150 to 7188, which is the all-time high. So you're looking at basically a 40 point. I could see that today. Unless there was some kind of news, profits were good. I think the uncertainty is overshadowing, which any kind of, the market just wants anything good. It wants to run. So I'm keeping my my thesis up here, guys, and so early sell-off was I'm bullish, but with an early sell-off, so it looks like that's kind of what's happening here. So that relief rally to me over. So we recovered that entire gap down on Sunday night, Monday morning in Asia. And that gap down was 7084 on Monday. So I don't think we're going anywhere near that. I think we've got we got some decent support here at the at 7130 range. If we come down and tap this, that could be a possibility. So let's just put that. Looks like we're breaking the last night's Asia low. So yeah, we're coming down. Even though I trade the 9 EMA strategy, I really use levels, guys, and you really need to be aware of these as well. So that's why you always see I draw the high, previous high, if it's not tapped, we leave Friday's high of 7188. And I always put, if London or Asia, whatever high or low they make, if it's higher than this, I will mark that level. We might get a bounce off this Asia low, 71.49, peak through at 71.47. So we may get a reaction off that, which a lot of times we will. Let's go 1 minute, see what's happening here. I don't know. It looks like there's again, my bias, if I was just trading this with what I think I know, it should be going down, but all these companies had epic earnings reports. Let me refresh this, make sure I got everything here. Only 3 ships passed through the Strait of Hormuz in the last 24 hours. So Vance, Pakistani says Vance should be arrival in hours. Trump, UAE, if I could help them, I would. Trump says USC 8, I'm surprised. They're rich. Oh. Not good news for the U.S., I think, and good for the market is that we have to refund 160 billion with a B in tariffs. That can't be good for our market. All right, anyway, Fed funds rates, blah blah blah. I don't think so. Anything, any other red news? We got our squawk on if we hear anything. Let's go to the 5-minute here. Yeah, this looks like it's going to push lower. Patience, patience, patience. Okay. Love you. Bye. All right, so we may get some kind of retrace off this level. Let's look at the 1 minute and see if there's an opportunity. We're still a ways from across here. I think I've shared with some of you guys here that I will, on occasion, I will use. We got the 1 minute over here, and we got let's get the 5 minute on this side. So what I will typically do, if I'm going to trade any kind of reversal, I'll take the 5 minute on the left, and if we see a strong bottom wick where buyers are stepping in, and we see some basing, and we see this looking like it wants to go up, these are fake outs quite often, though, folks. You got to be careful. I will still wait for the 9 to cross the 20 on the 1 minute because this, you see, and I always like to wait for one 5 minute candle to form if I'm ever going to attack a reversal. I used to trade like this a lot, and I would hit some home runs, but I would get punched in the nose 3, 4, 5 times on these fake outs, and my tolerance just couldn't. I couldn't weather that, so I don't do that very often. Now, if we get into a ranging market in the afternoon that's just going up and down 10, 15, 20 points, I will absolutely trade the bottom, go long, sell, and then go short and go long. In those ranging markets, you can still use the 920 and the 1 and the 5 effectively, but you've got to be you got to be quick on the button. And if you're not a seasoned trader, I would not recommend that strategy. But I mean, this could go. This could go back up. Well, I know I'm really helping you guys learn. The stock market could go up and it could go down. Brilliant, right? There you go. I'm gonna move another tab over here. Yeah, yeah. I think this thing maybe wants to move its way up. I had some input from a couple people. I just wanted to thank them for saying that I could help a lot more people because I'm not a polished YouTuber and presenter. That, but the content of what I'm sharing is extraordinarily powerful. This 920 EMA strategy for new traders is, I think, an epically powerful strategy. Simplicity is the key to me. That's the when I simplified things, when I took everything off. I mean, you can see the indicators I have on here. I've got the 9, the blue line, the 20, which is the fat line, and the VWAP. That's it. I have 3 indicators on here. I had the CCI on my brokerage, but I mean, that is just a confluence that I think muddies the water. I think this thing wants to go up on this cross. If we get any kind of pullback to the 71.55-ish range, this is an aggressive trade, guys. I would not recommend you even considering this. Let's see how that reacts. This is where I told you we get a lot of these fake outs. So this candle, look at this 5-minute candle. This wick went from 71.47 to 71.64. So 18, 17, 18 points. But to see a follow through, you need to see this next candle begin pushing up. And ideally, to really get a confirmation, you would like to see this 5-minute candle break out here. Now, can you catch a bigger move if you get it on the 1 minute? 71.55 versus 71.64? Yes. But again, if we think this could happen here, this is an extremely aggressive 920 EMA cross strategy here on the 1 minute. I'm going to show how. So I'm going to go in. I went in at 71.56 long. And I'm going to show you how you can really trade this 71.56. So we went long at 71.56. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how the risk to reward can be fantastic by using the 1 minute. Is I don't need to put a 10-point stop. If this thing comes back down below, I mean, you can put it, let's give it even 4 points. If that thing comes back and takes me out, then I'm wrong, right? And if you're wrong, this is the kind of risk. But if it runs all the way back up and you recover some of this move, then you hit a home run, right? So I'm trading just one small contract to show you the power of this, of the 1 minute with very little risk. So what I say here? So we're going in. So it's already moving in our favor. And those you have really small accounts and you want to really protect, you could actually even, you see, we went in here long based on the 1 minute cross. And our 5 minute is coming up to kind of give us validation. So we've enjoyed a lot of that move. So if you were really conservative, you're up 5-6 points right now, you could put a stop to break even and have a no risk trade. I think we're going to recover some of this. Whether we retrace it all, I don't know. So we shall see. So we're 18 minutes into the market, and it looks like it wants to go in our favor. Kind of look a few confluences I want to review real quick. So the Asia low kind of did work as a bounce zone. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to manage this as if we don't want any risk on the table now. So if you want to be super conservative, ideally you would want to put, my stop defaults to 10. But why do I want to give it all this room to come back down and take me out? Because if we come back down and test this, the likelihood that we're going lower is pretty high that we go down this next level. So you can be in this, and if you wanted to just put a stop to break even though you're only up a few points, you want to take complete risk of the table. And I had some people ask me about that. Do I do that? Absolutely, I do that on occasion. And we'll do that today. So we're going to set a stop just inside. And you can try this over and over. So if it goes against you, you don't lose any money. You cover your fees. Do it again. It goes against you. You cover your fees. And then when it goes,
pending home sales change month over month, forecast 0.1% on the prior 1.8%. The pending homes index is for a prior 72.1. Keep in mind as well, at the top of the hour, we're expecting Warsh's a confirmation hearing for the Fed chair position.
Okay, so Warsh is expected to be confirmed, or they're going to be doing his confirmation. I saw his speech. So we'll set our stop right now to break even, enough to cover the fees. We're only up 5 points or so, whatever. But if it comes back and gets you, then you don't care, right? This is why I'm showing you guys how to trade a small account. If you wanted to do this, you can. Now, it looks like we may not get any wild cowboy action right now, but I mean, we're up 5 points. And it looks like it wants to go. We see this 5 minute get above the 9, headed to the 20. That would be a really good sign for a long and a non-fake out. Ideally, I like to see that drive go faster. It's not driving very fast. Now, a lot of people will tell you and complain or tell you you've got to give a trade room to breathe, and that's true. That is absolutely true. However, capital preservation precedes that to me. If you want to continue, because you can catch one of these, and if you can do it by breaking even or not losing any money, not losing any money, not losing any money, then why wouldn't you do that? And then catch one. Is it going to go? You can get back in. I mean, if it goes without, it comes down and gets you, then it gets you. You don't lose any money. You make a couple dollars to cover your fees, your trading fees, and then get back in. So I would tell you that capital preservation and then catching a big move. I've had days where I've had 3 or 4 break evens, and then I catch the big move and then it goes. So just like this is now going, right? So we caught the 1 minute. So my rule is once it goes for me, once it goes 10 points, then I set my stop to break even, which is right, we're right there now. So I don't have I have a 0 risk trade. Okay, so my stop is set to break even. And so let's get rid of this. We'll go down to one screen and clean all this up. We'll manage this on the 5 minute. So I can get rid of this stuff. We'll leave this over here. My bias, we can leave here for a minute. And our next trade is we are in. We can take this down to. All right, so we are long 71.57. That's 940 something, 948 something like that.
In 5 minutes time now, at the top of the hour, we see the release of the US pending home sales change month over month. Forecast 0.5% on the prior 1.8%. Business inventories month over month. Forecast 0.3% on the prior minus 0.1%. Pending homes index for a prior of 72.1. So keep in mind, we also get the Fed Chair nominee Walsh testifying at the Senate Banking Committee's confirmation hearing. We do have the live video on the feed for those interested.
All right, so we're going to set our stop. We're going to set our target to a 20.717750. All right, so just a quick review. We go TP 71.7750. So we got a no risk trade here. We got one winner here, and we are now in a current trade. And for anyone who wants to review how we manage that, we look at the we entered here on the 1 minute cross. So we got this here, and we jumped in 71.5750 based on the 1 minute cross. And what we would love to see is we'd like to see this 5 minute cross here. Let's put our order on here so you guys can see what it looks like. We are long, what did I say, 71, 57.50. There's our long. We're set. We got a target set to we're at 71, 77.50. So there's our target. I'll keep moving all this stuff around. So that wouldn't be retraced the entire move, but I'm okay taking 20 points out of it. It's kind of sticking here. And I will not be shy to peel another 10 points off the market. I'm in this kind of volatility. I'm not a big believer that this is just wants to run north. Market's looking for something good, anything good it wants to go on, but I would tell you guys that I'm not ashamed to take profits. I'm a scalper. Intraday, I can be in a trade for a few minutes or a few hours or the entire day and continue to add. But we have a no risk trade now. So just to quick review, this short is done. So we'll leave that over here. This is our current trade. We are long 71.57. And we got a 20-point target set. Right now we're up around close to 9-10 points. This strategy works, folks. Even kind of, this is not the perfect trending market, but that's why you've got to go. I'm a scalper and I get points where I can get points. And if I can get 10 here and 10 here and 10 here, I get 30, 40, you get 50 points in a day. Even if you're
1 minute remaining, I'll lead with US business inventories month over month.
Okay, US business inventories, I don't think that'll have any really big impact on the market, but I want to do a quick review. For those of you who are trading small accounts, this is a good strategy for you. Think about one micro. If you're trading one micro, 10 points is 50 bucks. Okay. And if you can get 40 points, that's $200 in a day. Now, do you need to be at the charts all day long? You know, hopefully not, but sometimes you do. But I know a lot of people, if you made $200 net a day, that's $1,000 a week, $4,000 a month. That can replace, that's $48,000 a year. That replaces some people's income.
10 seconds.
So, and then what you'll do is, as you get more comfortable, you'll scale up.
4%, time and forecast zero spot 3%. Pending home sales change month over month, 1 spot 5%, 1 spot 5%, time and forecast zero spot 5%. The pending homes index at 73.7.
Okay, well, market didn't love that, but I mean, it's not, I don't think that drives everything. Let's play this guy in the background. Fed chair nominee.
For our revisions, business inventories revised up to 0% from minus 0.1%. Pending home sales revised up to 2.5% from 1.8%.
So going back to this strategy and how it can impact whether you're a large trader or a small trader, you get, micros. You trade micros and you trade one, and then you can move up to two, and then you can 3 and 4 and 5. And then when you get to a big enough point, then you can trade a mini. But 10 points on a mini is $500. So just be aware, if you trade a mini, then you're risking 500, but you made 500 on a 10-point move. So, I mean, a lot of people, but you got to have capital to risk that, because I mean, you obviously need to only risk a percentage. And I'll just use 5,000 as an easy map. I don't think you should trade any more than 2% at risk on a $5,000 account, which would be 2 micros at 10 points. That's just my strategery. of what I do. And I know you, if you listen to anyone trading, they'll talk about 1%, 2%. And there's a reason for that, because if you get down, your account gets down 10%, you don't just have to get 10% to get back, right? Because you have a smaller number. You've got to get back bigger. So you really, capital preservation is got to be your number one thing. That's what I would tell anybody. That's what I told myself. So you do you, I do me.
We have posted the US business inventories February report on the feed for those interested. US Energy Secretary Wright testifies before the Senate panel, says gasoline prices peaked over a week or so ago.
So what we'd really like to see, we'd like to see this 9 on the 5-minute crossing is 20 and drive us to the promised land of 20 points. You see, we're up just about 10 points right now. Risk management is another thing that I want to talk about, and I share this is for myself as well as anyone who stop losses at a fixed dollar amount to me are not always good. And I want to explain that. I explain this on this 1 minute entry is if I use a 10-point move on a 1 minute chart, then that's not good. So I've got multi contracts on this, guys. So I may clip one off here at 10. I don't like. We'll see. Give me a second here too. I'm looking at some other things here. Yeah, we'll see. Going back to stop losses, and this was I used to start and I would have a fixed stop loss no matter what. I want to lose, just for easy math. Let's say I'll risk $100, and
We have got a video of US Energy Secretary Wright speaking.
And why is a fixed stop loss causing you to continue to lose? Let me explain to you why. The having a fixed stop loss, market structure is more important than your stop loss. The market doesn't care if you're risking 100, 500, 50, 10. It doesn't care about your stop loss amount. And I used to really go, okay, this is the max I want to lose, and I would set my stop loss at that. Now, I do place my orders, OCO order cancels order, where it defaults at a 10-point stop loss. However, on occasion, my stop loss could be a little bigger.
Reports that UPS and FedEx have begun filing for some tariff refunds.
That should be negative news if companies are filing for tariff, but I don't think it's market moving. Anyway, so going back to stop loss management and why you putting stop loss at a fixed price is causing you to lose, because market structure is more important than your dollars. Now, do you want to risk more? No, but sometimes the market structure is going to dictate where you should place your stop loss, and depending upon your strategy. So my strategy is a 920 EMA Cross strategy. And when is my quote, or when is my setup invalid? So that's the key. when structurally your setup is invalid, you need to be out of the trade. So on this 9, let's just look at this as an example. Let's just say I got in, I'm already in, but let's just say I got in at this cross and we got it at 71.65. Okay. Now, at 71.65, do I need to have a stop at 71.55 all the way down here? No. I can have a stop at 5 points at 71.60, because if this goes back down below the 20, technically my trade is invalid. Now, will we have trades come down and do this and come back up? Yes. But sometimes your stop doesn't need to be as big as
plans to provide access to
as we want to do it.
Model to European banks, according to sources.
Anyway, so I just want to give you a quick review, is sometimes your stops do not need to be, there should not be just based on dollar values, because the market doesn't care about what your dollar system. So that's what you need to adhere to. And that's why looking at the 1 minute, guys, I told you here, when we got in at 71.58, we would have been valid at 71.52. So we had a 4-point stop. Originally, I set that stop at 5 points. 4 points I could have, but I had it set at 5 points. So if that would have come down and popped through and took me out, I would have lost 5 points, not 10. Why would I want to go all the way down to 10 points? Why would I want to go all the way down to here? That would have been super invalid on a 1 minute, right? This would have crossed over here and would have come crashed. Well, I'm not going to let it go all the way down here, because this is also confluence of, we had the Asia low, which we thought was acting as support. And that's why we draw these levels before pre-market. Okay. So this is important on how you manage your trades and how you set your stops. I used to just set my stop there, so no matter what the market structure, no matter what I was trading, I would set it a fixed thing, and then it would come down. So here's where the psychology is just rips your head off. I would set a stop at my fixed thing, but here the market structure stop should have been down here, just for instance. So it comes down, it takes me out, hits a stop, but it comes down to here. Let's just say this, my stop should have been underneath here, 70. And I'm just stating this as a structure. My stop should have been here. So the market comes back down here, retraces with a higher low, and then rips in my direction and goes where I thought it was going to go. And then it just laughs at me going away. And I'm like, wow, I suck at this. That's what I was going through for a long time. And this was years ago, but I don't do it anymore. I set based on the, I'm responding to somebody here that's messaging me, guys, so forgive me. All right, that is going well. All right, so what are we doing here? So we are up. So I hope that was helpful. If any of you are listening to about risk management, your stop needs to be based on market structure, not on what you're. Now, ideally, you want market structure to match what your risk tolerance is, and if it doesn't, then you need to have smaller trades, okay? And you have to be more selective on your entries. So if you have a really small account, maybe you just need to be trading 1 micro on a 1 minute EMA Cross, because on this 5 minute, this could have worked today. If you got in, boom, here you got in here at 71.65, and you want to be 71.
Voice news disconnected.
Yeah, let's say you got it at 71.65, and you were invalid down here, 71.58. Could have been a 7-8 point stop. So it would have worked. Let's see why my voice is disconnected. move this down. So we're in at 71.57.50. Another thing I would tell you, mistakes I've made in the past is if I use the 1 minute to get into a trade, I don't use the 1 minute to manage the trade. And I'm going to flip on this and show you why. So if you're looking at the minute, and this is how I manage my trades. Now, if you're in a cowboy bucking bronc market, but you can see we kind of went down here and then we kind of just grinding our way up. The reason, if you look at we're going to flip to the 1 minute here. The 1 minute gets a little squishy, even though it came down to 20, looked like it was going to maybe go down. In here, post to the 20. So this is noisy and makes you maybe a little jittery. So once I'm in a trade, I just go to the 5 minute. Now, does that mean I'm going to let this thing come all the way back? No. That means we're going to kind of, but you got to take the noise out of it, because then you'll start taking profit too early and not letting your winners run. And I've done that. So everything I've shared with you, the mistakes I've shared with you, are all things that I've done and sometimes still do. I don't want to listen to a talking head. This is just a confirmation hearing thing. They're going to ask them a lot of questions, lots of trying to get at gotchas. He's not going to say anything that's, he's not going to say anything on the, criminating, going, oh, well, I want to crash the stock market, or I want to do this or do that. I mean, he's trying to say things to get elected. Pending home sales. Wow, look at these pending home sales numbers here. So the entire United States is 1.8%. Last year was down. So it's positive news. The Northeast is not good. I guess it's improved since last year, minus 3.6%. Midwest, where I'm at, for the best at 4.6%. And the West is pretty stagnant, so not seasonally adjusted. So FedEx and UPS have begun filing for tariff refunds. I was listening to the Squawk Box interview with Trump, and they were asking about Apple and some other companies that were afraid to file to ask for tariff refunds because of retribution from him, or to keep him happy, which could be. We're going to take this level off here. Let me take this one off, the 71.37. So we're not gonna. Looks like we're not gonna go get that. Again, let's really focus on these levels, guys. These levels are levels because they matter. So the Asia low, which was Tuesday Asia time, was 71.49 because they're 12 hours ahead of us. So that really worked as support. We came down, hit that, popped through, probably a little liquidity grab for a few points, and now we just kind of been marching north for the rest of the morning. I don't feel. Do I feel really confident in this move? I don't, to be honest with you. Like I said, I've been leaning towards taking one contract off at 10 points, and I still might do that and just leave the rest on, but I don't have faith in this move. But it's marching up. Again, let's looking at the 1 minute. If we're watching this, I don't like this. This is one thing I don't like, and I will look at the 1 minute. If this starts to flatten out, I'm gonna take this. This starts to want to turn and flatten out. The 5 minute, the 1 minute, and I will take profit on the 1 minute because I don't like this curvature. And this starts to go across here. So let's snap one off. Let's take one off at 11 points. Okay, so I filled an order at 11 points on that one. So let me do this. So it's TP2. So TP1, we took it off at 71. Well, let me give it accurate. I'm gonna look at my broker real quick. So we took 12 points. So we got 71. We hit 71.69 plus 12 points. And TP2 we have set at 71.77. Now, if we hit that or we come back to break even, now we will just let So this is how I will use this, guys. As you see here, if we go to the 1 minute and our 1 minute is going to want to roll over radical, this is where management and the difference between making money and losing money is right here in the management of these trades. So I've got the other trade on well, we're going to leave it as is our system. So we'll put up here. This one's hit. So on the day, daily, we're plus 22 points. Okay. So when I get into plus 22 points, there's zero chance that I will have a negative day. And let me explain that. When I get 22 points in the bank, any trade, and that doesn't mean I won't take another trade or take another loss, but I will not have a negative day based on this one. And this is where your controls and where your strategy of protecting profit protecting capital is going to be, it's job one. So it doesn't mean I won't go in again on a different trade, but we're still long here. And based on the 5-minute management is we popped down here, popped the 20. Yesterday when we popped that 20 on the short, I added because I felt it was stronger market conditions to go short. This is complete uncertainty to me. So I am not, and this is where my knowledge of the market and my knowledge of news and my protecting capital, I do not add, even though the system and the process tells me to add here of what I see. I'm profitable for the day and I'm in a trade. It's working in my favor. Let's kind of let this run out. It's only 10:23. The market has not even been open for to be dunking off, money. So it looks like this really wants to come back and get me. Hold on, where am I at here? 71.57. And this is where I tell you, I've got it set to break even. Excuse me. So if it comes back and gets me, and I call it break even though I cover broker fees. This is where my strength as a trader is. I don't get emotional anymore about these. We got some points in the bank. Am I going to try to bank 3 or 4 points right here of taking this trade now? I'm not. So if it comes back and gets me, I'm still up 22 points. Then we can look for the next setup. It's invalid. I used when you have multi-contracts, and this is where management matters, guys. So obviously on this 1-minute cross, if I wasn't in a trade, I could have gone in again. Do I love it? I don't. But I don't love the long either. My bias is just, I think this is just a big, what do I do with my bias? Oh, I got all my bias and stuff over here. So let's get rid of this. Let's bring our bias back into the window so we can see this here. So all right, so yeah, let's go back to my bias real quick. My bias was bullish with an early sell-off, which is kind of actually happening. So we sold off early, and now we're grinding back. Semi-bullish? I don't know. I don't think buyers are not in control. But man, the sellers, if they wanted to sell this thing off, they're trying to push it down. So quick review is we went 71.48 and the high is 71.88. There's only a 40-point spread between where we're at on the low for today and the high. So as anticipated, I thought we would be in this range unless some kind of crazy news happens. So our stock market, we're in greed, borderline extreme greed, and the fear and greed index for crypto is gone from extreme fear to fear. And BTC got punched in the nose with that early drop. With this drop here, when Trump was speaking, before Trump was speaking. But you'll see the YM. Oh, the YM is still down here. It's going down. NQ and the ES are moving really similarly. We'll see what the Russell's doing. Russell's ripping. What the heck? That would have been a nice trade. Let's see, we got 28.14. Well, that would have been a nice 15 point move or 20. That would have been a nice 15. On the Russell. I've traded the Russell some, but that's pretty wild. So I really stick with the ES guys. I will trade the YM, and you've seen me trade the YM. The YM is kind of lagging, usually whatever the market's doing, and it can be leading. So we're looking at our ES position. You know, we're trying to bounce off that 20, not convincingly, guys. I don't like the angle of this 9 going down. Hello? Hey, Jen, I hear you, brother. Crazy morning so far, but profit, we're looking good. We're long right now. It looks like it wants to take me out a break even. Real quick update. Here's the word, brother. I'll give you a quick update. Reader Digest version. So I got in pre-market at 7:45, and I went short, and I used the 1 minute chart crossover, and I made quick 10 points about 30 minutes. Then, based on this Asia low kind of being support coming back, I used the 1 minute and I went long, and I took 12 points out. So the 1 minute started to cross here. I got out and I took, I was in 71.57. I got out 71.69. So I took 12 points out. So we're up 22 points. And now my stop, based on my rules, I've got my stop set to on my other broker. We are at, I am just about, that thing almost wicked me out. So I'm at 71, 58, 75, something like that. So I got enough to cover broker fees. Yeah, short's a better play. I was already in a long, so short was a much better play right now. I don't go short and long at the same time, so I'm kind of married to the trade I'm in right now. I do like short much better, and my bias today was bullish with a sell off, and we absolutely did all that. So the so yeah, you're in a better position than I am now. But I've already taken 22 points out of the market today, so I'm gonna have a profitable day no matter what. Um, and when this comes down and hits me, then I'm just gonna have a break even on this, and then I can look to possibly get a retrace and get short with you again because I still think I believe, and it doesn't matter what I believe, I'm going to trade what I see. I think we're going to trade in this between the 71.49 and the 71.88. I think we're going to stay in this range. We got a 40-point range. I don't think there's going to be any big blowups. Now, Trump could say something, or someone could bomb something, or who knows what can happen. So, but it's good. Are you short S&P? Actually, I went long based on I went based I went long based on this 1 minute cross. So real aggressive. So is this looking at you see here at the 1 minute? I was using the 5 minute. Showed a real strong wick, up wick hammer candle, and then as this 1 minute crossed here, I got confirmation here. Once I broke this, so I set an order here, and I got in at, and I was explaining this earlier to anyone who was listening. I got in on this candle here, so we ran up, you know, but 10, 12 points here, whatever. So I got it at 71.69. So I could have made some. Anyway, that was the logic on me getting in that trade. But oh, I just got popped out. So I'm out of this trade. So that one is a break even. Let's go. So this is. So this is break even. All right, so now we can look for another trade and we'll get rid of this guy here, and we can begin hunting again. You are short, which I'm envious right now because that is, oh yeah, the 15-minute was after this fake here, your cross here. This looks, even at the higher time frame of 15-minute, this looks good. Yeah, I can see us easily coming back down here. I mean, do we pierce this? I don't know. So short early, was long. Oh, okay, all right. So you're short from the uh, yeah, pre-market. I just did a quick long for 10 points, and then got 12 out. Like I said, I'm 22 points, not big. So you're short from 162. Oh, so you've stayed in the whole thing. Gotcha. Yeah. Ah, excellent. Yeah, paying yourself, boy, that's one of my biggest lessons. Things that I will have no problem paying myself, and especially when I with this kind of uncertainty. The to me the sentiment should be bearish. I think the only thing propping this up is all of these companies' earnings reports have been good. Almost every single one of them has been, you know, off the reservation. So that's what's bringing it up. There's so much uncertainty with the war stuff that I don't know. So this is where I'm not married to anything here.
So Ahod Alpha reporting that Advance has arrived for negotiations in Islamabad.
Well, it would have been a nice pop up for me to get in there. But that's a quick candle on the 71.64. These kind of days, yeah, I agree with you. You're saying that there is a monster in the back end with private credit that will crush the markets. We have to be ready. I think that's a for sure certainty. There's a lot of prognosticators out there that are saying that this crash could be bigger than 2008.
Walsh says, I'm not prepared to wander outside the Fed's remit.
You know, I used to really, I think you and I kind of chatted about this before, but I, I was in some swing trades where I got murdered. uh, and didn't have stop set the way I should, and then a black swan, semi black swan, short term thing came in and just punched me right in the neck. So I really just trade what I see in front of me for the day. But that doesn't mean if we go on some epic, meltdown and I can capture multi contracts and set everything inside profit that I wouldn't ride that. Because when that happens, I think we're going to have to move quick. And there'll be relief rallies when it happens. But I think for the most part, it's when it gets ugly, it's going to be ugly, ugly. We know that we take the stairs up and the elevator down, right? So YM would have been a nice short. It's Russell being up here at this thing ripped and is just now starting to come back. Interesting. Yeah, I wasn't ready here. I could have popped in there right on this retrace real quick and gotten in at 7160, be in with you at 162. I missed my entry there. So we got to move quick. Especially in these, I'm going to capture small moves, 10 points, 15, 20 points, that my entry is going to matter.
Pakistan's information minister says Pakistan, as the mediator, is in constant touch with Iranians and pursuing the path of diplomacy and dialogue. Pakistan's information minister says the ceasefire ends at 4:50 a.m. PST. A decision from Iran to attend the talks before the end of the two-week ceasefire is critical. So again, that's Pakistan's information minister essentially confirming that there is still no decision from Iran whether they'll be attending the talks.
Ooh, that thing looks like it's dumping. I like it for you, brother. Yeah, there's sellers, man. If we break this Asia low, I'm gonna get rid of my bias here, which I had on the bottom. I think we've got another level down here that could come down.
Pakistan's information minister says Pakistan made a sincere effort to convince Iranian leadership to participate in the second round of talks, but efforts continue.
I think this could be another level that you can come down to. We can break that this 7137. We kind of got blue sky. If you break through this, I mean, you got another. It's not huge, but you got another 10 points before there's anything to catch you. That's my opinion. Yeah, the overnight lows, Asia low was 71.49. I mark out the highs and lows. If London doesn't break a low or doesn't break a high, I don't mark it. I just keep the New York high, which we have 71.88. But it looks like this sucker wants to go. Oh, dude, I'm envying you that you're in this short. Yeah, look at that A-frame. Look at this A-frame. Boom. Now, two things can happen. We can get support and a retrace. Or for you, since I'm not, oh, your TP's hit. All right, good, good, good. I think we could get a retrace on this one. This is what I got in last time on the 1 minute cross. And then what I'll do is I'll keep the 5 minute on the left. And if we see a strong wick hammer candle here, and on the 1 minute, we can get a cross up here. This is how I got in earlier for that previous long. Yeah, 149.5. Yeah, what did I have it as? Yeah, 149. Yeah, you're right. I just put round numbers, but yeah, that was the
spot 1%. The Dow up spot 29%. Nasdaq up spot 22%. That's the Nasdaq composite. And so again, did see some movement towards the downside as Pakistan's information minister essentially confirmed that Iran has not decided whether it's going to attend talks.
So Iran is still not decided whether they're going to attend talks. That's not good news. Trump indicated that he would not extend the ceasefire. He said, I'm likely not going to extend the ceasefire. And then Squawk Box asked him this morning, I don't know if you heard his interview. They said, would you continue bombing? He goes, I don't want to bomb them, but yeah, if they don't come to the table, I will bomb them. And he said, I got to say that because I think it's the best thing to say from a negotiation standpoint. So this is just shenanigans extraordinaire. Yeah, I don't think that low wants to hold at all. Nope. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. The sellers are strong, but the buyers on all of these profit targets, all these companies, there could be some more profit taking as well. Guys who rode this thing up now are fearful and taking some profit. But yeah, this thing's gonna go down, man. That's all right. I missed an entry here. That's the problem when I'm stuck in a long here. When we crossed here and on this retrace, I should have been back in it with where you were at 71.62. I had a chance to get in there and I missed clicking the button. There's always another trade. Yeah, I might try to get a reaction off this, but I'm not confident in anything this thing wants to do. But the only hesitation I have of shorts going down is all of the positive earnings reports. We'll see. I'm not. This red candle here at the 1045, that doesn't show any
Treasury
buyer.
yields extend their rise as Fed Chair nominee Walsh speaks in the Senate hearing. The two-year yields are last up 6.7 basis points at around 3.783%.
Yeah, this didn't look like any real buyers stepping in here at the 1045 candle. And this comes down, what, 71, so 3 points below the Asia. And look, buyers are trying to step in here, but I don't think they're believing it. I think the market's sitting on pins and needles waiting for Trump to tweet something or say something or someone to attack someone or do something. But none of the news is good on the bigger front. The profits of the companies, I think, are good, but the news that Iran has not even agreed to come to the table is that's not good, right? I mean, you gotta, yeah. So I think this Asia low was some support. It was not strong support, but I think, and even this 71.37 is not real strong support. Let's look at the, let's go to the hourly real quick. So you see here on the hourly, I mean, yeah, you got some, the 71.37, but this is the gap down on Sunday night for Asia Open, and I got a lot of that short. That was a nice one. So we gap from on the Asia Open from 71.64, 63, whatever it was, down to 70.84. And then we stair stepped our way all the way back up here. So the Monday Asia low 70.84. I don't think that's in play today unless we get some bad news. But if we get some bad news, I mean that could be in play. I don't know. I think the most realistic is we come back down to this 71.37 range and then kind of total in here. And then if we hear something bad, then we'll see. But it wants to go down. Yeah, the news. That's why I love the Squawk Box. Something
S&P
epic.
500 is now erased gains. This continues selling off the back of the Pakistan Information Minister's comments. Again, where they said a formal response from the Iranian side about confirmation of the delegation to attend Islamabad peace talks is still awaited.
Yeah, so no answer from the Iranians. That's negative.
Continuing to see some strength there, as is WTI crude.
So oil is going to be going up. Let's look at oil real quick. Look at that. Yeah. Bad news. Oil rips. ES dips. I mean, this has just been And I have traded oil in the past. When we get a dump on this, if I miss the dump, I'll sometimes jump on oil. I didn't do it today. I could have, should have, would have. But yeah, I think you and I are the same way. Looking at the, I listen in case Trump says something on this squawk box, or in case someone attacks someone or does something, so I can click buttons quickly if it's
10-year bond yields
going
last up
against
3
me.
basis points, 2 years last up 6 basis points.
Yeah, gold is hitting the pooper. Oh, silver's dumping. I will trade gold once in a blue moon, but metals is not my jam. Look at that thing dump. Yeah, we were going right through that 7137. I think the 7084 is in play. I think the that Asia low. The Monday Asia low is in play. Wow. Now it's making me, yeah, 7084. Man, now I got seller's remorse. On the squawk box,
$80 billion in forward April 23rd, settling on the 28th.
yeah, you're only gonna get the voice when you subscribe, and I think it's $20 a month. I paid for a quarter. I think it was like $65 or something like that. It's the best $65 I've spent because I don't have to bounce everywhere. Yeah, I know I don't want to get FOMO, but my goodness, looking at the indicator, this is where I should have been in at 62. And when you and I are chit chatting, I still could have clicked the button and got in around 60, 59, something like that. Anyway, I have no remorse because I was just getting out of the long that stopped me at break even. So we've got a winning day. I'm not, like I said, no remorse. Yeah. Hey, listen,
Lockheed Martin has been awarded a landmark US Navy contract to integrate the world's most advanced air defense systems.
oh, we made money, guys. I mean, I have no problem with that. But that thing is tanking.
So S&P continuing to sell off here, down around spot 2% now as oil and the dollar are gaining.
Look at that dump. Yeah, the squawk. Answer your question. Yeah, the squawk box. It's a paid service, and you got to get the live squawking. You got to get. I think they do delayed data, delayed information. I don't know, it's delayed like 10 minutes, however many minutes it's delayed by minutes, which is what I want to use it for. Kind of defeat the purpose. So I just ran a 3 month. I bought a 3 month version of it, and this is good. I like the format. It's pretty simple. This is a live person, which I really like, telling me what's happening. Um, Whoa, look at that thing go. Wow.
Dollar index at session highs.
Oh, hey, Blunt. The battles, I'm up 22 points. Generock, he hit he got some of this short. I did not capture this short. So I went short early, made some points, and I went long. So I'm up 22 points. But we missed this move. Guys, check this out. So I should have been at 71. We'd say 71. Let's just say 71.60. So I've missed this 40-point move. But shoulda, woulda, coulda. Monday morning quarterback. All the cliches I can put. 39-point rip from 71.60. Generac, he had two good shorts today. He was in and got his cheddar. This 5-minute candle here. Do I trust anything on this going back up? I don't think we're going down to Monday's 70884, but I mean we're really only 40 points, 50 points from that. It's not a long way to get there. So 71.37 was previous, was a really wussy support. I'm gonna get rid of that. But 70.84 is Monday's low. The catalyst, to answer your question, is here. I'll show you real quick. So Pakistan is not agreed whether they're even going to attend the talks. So they're uncertain. Trump was on Squawk Box this morning, and he said likely not to extend a ceasefire if they don't come to the table. He said he's absolutely not ending the blockade. So even though we've had a lot of good profit reports from these companies, the news that drove it down right now is the news that drove it down recently was this one. The Pakistani information minister, ceasefire ends at 4:50 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. A decision from Iran to attend the talks before the end of 2-week ceasefire is critical. But he said that they haven't even decided if they're going to attend.
Chinese
so that was the problem.
Down 1 million barrels per day this year. That's Mercuria CEO demand.
So that's the catalyst of what we're seeing, why it's going in the old pooper.
The Mercuria CEO adds that Mercuria was able to get its ships out through Hormuz.
Yeah, good thing to be out of any kind of swing right now. I think we were talking about that before, that being in a swing in this market, holy monkey. I got myrtleized years before being in swing trades and this kind of thing. So we're only an hour and a half in the market. It feels like dog years. It feels like the thing's been open for 5,000 years. All right. So there's going to be some kind of small relief rally. 71.21. So I think I shared with you guys before what I'll typically do if I'm going to be super aggressive and I got money in the bank on reversals, and I don't trade them often. I kind of use the reversal and the 920 cross on the 1 minute.
The supply side of the economy is changing dramatically. UK fixed income 2-year gilt yields rise to the highest since April 13th. That's up 10 basis points on the day. Fed Chair nominee Walsh says at this moment, supply side of the economy is changing dramatically.
I don't think Warsh's comments are going to move the market too much unless he said something really negative. But he's just trying to get... So anyway, going back to what I like to see a hammer candle on this 5-minute, a strong one. This one at 11 is not strong to me. Hold on, it's not strong to me. This is a real strong one. And typically if you break this one, that would be a not a bad entry. But this is a high risk trade. I mean, if you got in here, let's say you got in at 71.36, your stop needs to be down here. You're looking at a 16-point stop, which I don't like that.
Walsh says the Fed will have to dig deep in upcoming meetings. Walsh says, I don't believe in forward guidance.
I did make some points earlier on this 9 on the 1 minute. On the 9, we got a big candle like this, the 9 crossing the 20, and I got in on the cross, and I got a nice, not nice. I mean, I got 10-point win. I mean, it's better than a sharp stick in the eye. Yeah, based on if we break this 71.38 and this crosses, I mean, that could be, it's not going to cross, that could be an entry long for some kind of recovery, but I don't trust it. I don't trust anything of this. There's not good news, but this is a fairly, what we were at 71, what was the high? 71.83. So we've had a 60-point dump from the pre-market. That's pretty significant. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like
Walsh says that monetary policy works with long and variable lags.
Yeah, right down here we 71.21 is our low of the day.
Just to make users aware, the tick stroke widget on the financial juice page does appear to be experiencing technical issues at the moment. The developers are aware and are working on a fix.
So low a day at all right, so we have the low a day at 11:05 a.m. Just keep an eye on that. See if that is what 71.20. What's up, little man? Come here. My little guy is homesick for the day. How you feeling?
Good.
Yeah, we're live streaming on. Now we don't have the camera on, but these guys are fellow traders in here.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, come here and tell me, what should we do on this chart? Let's look at this 1 minute. What should we be doing? This is the 9, right?
Mm.
What happens with the 9 crosses above this 20? What should we do here?
The US has directed 28
Yeah,
vessels to
but
turn
do we
around
go-
and return to Iran.
Should we go long now or do we wait?
Wait, look.
Yeah, we wait. Okay, so we don't. What do we do now?
Go up.
No, what do we do now?
Wait.
Well, we wait. We sit right on our hands. We don't do anything. My 9-year-old and my 11-year-old, I'm teaching these guys the trade. I'm teaching them the 920 strategy. So, and my little guy, 9-year-old, he's home today. He's not feeling well. So I'm asking him what we should do on looking at the 1 minute. Yeah, buyers are weak. I agree. I think the play is still short. That was a big strong candle, and they can't defend on that 5 minute. So we'll see. They're trying. So I was talking to somebody yesterday, was asking about risk to reward. So if you want to be aggressive, and let's just say I want to get in at on the 1 minute candle at 71.38, I could literally have a stop of 5 points, and that's my risk, and see if that thing retraces. Now I did this earlier as an example, and it worked out. But and then when it gets up 5 points, you move your stop to break it. You can do this over and over and over. When my account was real small, this is how I built my account. I was using the 1 minute, and I would just take on micros. I would take out a few points, take out a few points, take out a few points, and I built it up to where you could start taking risk. And the other thing that, and I was talking about this earlier as well, my system defaults to 10 when I place the order. OCO, order cancels order, but 10 points would not be the proper stop. The market structure should dictate what your entries and where your stop loss is, not your dollar total, because the market doesn't care about my dollar total. What does it care about what I'm doing? So market structure is telling you 5 points, don't risk 10 when it can be 5. That's just good common sense to me. It looks like they might want to push up for, I might even take my own advice here and just go, this is pushing down. I don't trust it. This wick on the top here is kind of pushing down. But anyway, from a market risk standpoint, any of you listening, is that you can get in on this 1 minute cross with very little risk with high reward. So if it gets up 5 points, move your stop to break even. Even if it takes you out, you cover your fees, and then do it again and do it again. And then when you catch one, that's where you make your money. That's how I built up my account. I'm not in a trade now. I'm just using that as an example because I think this market is weaker than weak. But that can be a strategy. And the same thing here on the 5 minute is going to be a little different. Is if you got in here on this retrace and you went short at 141, instead of putting your stop all the way back up here at 20, you can just say, okay, if it comes up and breaks through the 9 on the 5 minute, my trade's invalid, which is not really true, but you can trade it like that. So by the trade, we should have been short again at 71.40 on this retrace here. So retrace to the 9, kind of pop in, and because all the indicators, and the 5 is the bigger one to use, is 9 is crossed the 20. We're below VWAP. On my broker screen, we're also below the 200, which is just another confluence. So below the 200, below the VWAP, 9 crossed here. This is a short by every single indicator on the 920 EMA cross. So this would have been a good, you had no re-entries here until this is close as you were probably going to get right now, short.
Walsh said, I don't agree that the inflation overshoot is due to tariffs.
I've got to unplug my landline here from my desk.
Is quite imperfect. Walsh says we need to see what real inflation is. Walsh says that I'm most interested in the underlying inflation rate. Walsh says my broad sense is that inflation risk has improved somewhat. Walsh says I think the inflation trend is quite favorable.
Right, he's saying the inflation data is quite favorable. What does that mean?
Walsh says one of the first Fed reforms should be a data project. Walsh says I want to conduct a survey of 1 billion prices.
Generic, what do you said I'm doing that right now. What are you doing, brother? Oh yeah, you're compounding your compound. Yeah, that's the boy, that's the way to go. I mean, it takes patience, but um but man, that's the way. If you want to win this game, that's the way you got to roll. I mean, I know that a lot of all these guys on social media talk about, oh, I made $3,000 in 15 minutes. Well, if you're risking full size ES and you hit 30 points, yeah, you can make some big dollars. But the reality is, you can also you guys get blown up. Yeah, I mean, you go from one contract to two contract. You start with micros and then you work your way up. And I've always looked at you have to earn your way into size. I'm going to speak for myself. I have to earn my way into size. So, and the other thing that I've learned from, I've watched it.
Quoting a Pentagon official, says we don't have a final figure for the extent of the damage to our facilities overseas.
I watched a bajillion YouTubers over the years, and now I don't really watch any. I don't watch any live trading for sure, because that influences me, and I don't want to be influenced because I have my strategy. I listen to the Squawk Box, and now I've kind of gone live, and any of you guys, give me your 2 cents, you can. But I trade my system, and that's it. I don't listen to advice of anybody. And that's really been one of my biggest wins, is not of just simplicity. Simplicity is the key. And if I keep it simple, I can click buttons. If it gets complex, I won't, because I mean your analysis paralysis. I know it sounds cliche, but for me, I'm just speaking to myself. That that's how I found I've been having success because of that over since 2021 when I started this strategy. I've had success in trading because it's simple, it's repeatable, and the probability is in my favor if I stick to my rules. And then I adding all the nuances of how I can see the ES move, how it moves, how market drives it, what kind of swings we're going to get. One of my big one, guys, and I'll share this with you on Friday. Let's go over that real quick. So Friday, all right, this is going to, so Friday, the market closed at 71.65. I was short at about 71.70. So I left just one micro I left on, and I caught, I have to look at my broker account, but let me show you what I caught. This is really cool. So let's just go, hold on, let me get rid of that. So I was in at 71.70. I was short, and I caught, oh, hold on, let me get rid of this. So 71, let me tighten this up a little bit. So 71.70, if I would have caught the whole move, that would have been 86. I retraced and I caught 65 points on that drop on one micro.
Or says we have a short window to bring inflation back down.
To hold it for the session on one micro, you have to have at least, I think, $2,800 in margin.
That because AI is so consequential,
So
it is important to revisit the Fed's.
You gotta have some margin, and I wasn't that confident, but I said, you know what, let me put one flyer on there. So, I made 300 and something bucks on one micro. 300. So 50 points would have been what? Yeah, I made 3.25, 325 bucks on one micro, and I don't typically trade like that, but I'm like, this is not the reason I did this trade is because I'm like, we are not just going to rip to 7,300 on any. I mean, given everything was volatile, he's saying everything's great, so I just left one flyer on there, and it paid off. Here's what I would tell you that's gambling. So I don't recommend it, but it's not really gambling because we're at 71.88. We had 14 days in a row that went straight up. Are we going to continue up for another 100 points from there? We could have, but the likelihood, and trading is all probabilities, right? So you got to have probabilities of what it is. But yeah, so if you're going to hold any trades overnight, that, and this is on Ninja Trader, you got to have $2,800 of margin on that, and a difference for all the different whatever your indices. I think the cheapest, here, I'll pull it up on my other screen so I can tell you guys.
CNN reports that Vance is set to take part in White House meetings as the departure for Pakistan remains unclear.
Yeah, let me tell you. I'll tell you what, the cheapest of all the micro indices, I believe, is the Russell. Let me check that real quick. So, yeah, the Russell, you only need $1,177 to hold overnight. The The S&P you need 2677. The NASDAQ, the NQ, you need 4,049. And the YM, you need 1657. So the cheapest is the Russell, second is the Dow, then the S&P 500, and then the, matter of fact, here, I'll just write on the screen here so you guys can see it. So, so hold overnight. Margin needed. So you got the, I'll do them in order of cheapest. So M2K, this is the Russell, is 1,177. You got the Dow, let's go, this is the MYM, and I'm doing all the minis. This is the Dow, you need 1,657. And then you need the MES, which is the S&P. You need 2,677. And then the NQ, the MNQ, NQ, you need 4,049. So that's the, there's the margins you need for those different, to hold any of these overnight. I rarely hold anything overnight. I'm just being honest with you, because even here's what I would tell you, and the risk is if you think it's going to go down, how do I set up my journal? I have a simple Excel spreadsheet. There's a million journals out there you can use, but I find because I have to put the data into an Excel spreadsheet of my winners and my losers at the end of the day, I just have a column that tells me what my mental state was, and I state whether this is an A setup or a B setup, and I don't take anything less than a B, and I keep it very simple. If you don't have the margin, to answer your question, Blaine, they just close your order out, and you don't want that, dude. It closes out automatically, and then they just whatever. If you post a loss, they just post a loss on you. Some people let their stuff just roll like that. I don't recommend it. Yeah, on Friday I held just because I thought, yeah, if you go,
the economy is improving.
If you search trading journals, there's a ton that you can use or download. You can even download it free Excel sheets. Here's what I would tell you: if you're a relatively new trader, write it in a book, your trades. There's power of pen to paper and your retention of that. And I would just say, hey, I was in long, I got it. Here's where I got in. Here's where I got out. And, you know, I won money. I lost money. Just start putting in a paper journal even. There's a lot of power. And that's how I started. And the part for me that is the most, is my psychology to me is that, you know, was this a good trade based on rules or was I gambling? So now I kind of, I don't give a lot of credence to the winners. What I do is I'll screenshot my losers. If I screwed up, especially, I want to see, wow, did I do that? Should I not have done that? That's just me. I like to be, I'm going to learn more from the losers than I do the winners.
The economy is close to full employment now.
That overnight hold on Friday is the first overnight hold I probably have done in 2 months. I've held the I held the Russell. One time I was in a Russell trade with multi-contracts, and I held that thing through a small drawdown and into a really big win. That was based on that was based on shorts coming out of January, because you see the market really trended down.
Voice news disconnected.
Here's the risk with imagine I was long on Friday, which a lot of people were. Okay, and this is where I think people are crazy holding overnight. So imagine I was long on Friday and I had contracts and I'm holding them, and then all the news starts trickling in on Sunday before the Asian Open. You know you're dead and you can't close your order, and that gap down, that 60 some point gap down, would have punched you right in the eye, and you can't do anything about it. So to me, there's just no value unless you're 14 straight days up. My risk, what was my higher risk, going long or short? My higher risk is going long. I don't think we're going to go up another 100 points. So that was a logic. Just be careful. Gap downs are real and they hurt. So yeah, Generac, if you just Google trading journals, there's electronic ones you can do. I like just a simple Excel spreadsheet. That's just my game, and I'm old school.
Walsh says that the Fed's balance sheet has played an unhelpful role in achieving the Fed's dual mandate.
Do you guys get notified when I go live? How does that? I know I don't have many people, and I've not been
Walsh
doing
says
this
that
long.
they're using the interest rate as a dominant force.
Yeah, I'm sure there is a pen and paper journal that you can get.
Forward cut rates, a broader range of people would benefit.
There's journals out there that you can buy that are pen and paper, and pen and paper is better because in the psychology of your mind, your retention of that. Oh, we're going through that the low a day. Yeah, short is the play. I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna go get some coffee. Yeah, if you guys could message me if you guys are getting alerted when I go live, or that'd be cool.
Walsh says a big balance sheet is a reason that the Fed is in politics.
You don't tell them I let you play games, Walter.
You like me, Mommy?
I did not let you trade.
Walsh says, I'm working with the Treasury Secretary and need to make the Fed's balance sheet smaller. Walsh says the Fed needs to get out of the fiscal business. Walsh says, I told the President that using rates is better than buying bonds. Or says too many Fed officials opine on rates in advance. Walsh says rates need to be based on better data and forward-looking. Walsh says I tend to favour messier meetings and family fights. Walsh says that digital assets are part of the fabric of financial services.
Hey, you hear me?
What?
You're not supposed to be gaming when you're homesick.
Oh, you told me.
I'm gonna let you right now, but don't tell your brother.
I'm not technically actually gaming. I'm editing something.
Oh, let's see, buyers. Let's look at this 1 minute. Looks like there's some basing here, right? On the, you may get some buyers step in here. Nothing that's telling me to go long. Any of my, for my indicator, for myself. What notes do I think you need to put in there? Obviously, you need to put the whatever you're trading. Like I only trade the S&P, so for me, I don't need to keep putting that. But you're gonna put what you trade, and then you need to put your entry. So what you need to do is have an entry, stop loss, and target, and then how many contracts you trade if you're just trading one. What you're trading, one mini, whatever it is. And then the important thing for me is I only have two trades, an A and a B trade. I don't have A plus, but a B trade. So if you've gotten my PDF, you see what all my setup criteria are. If it met all those, that's an A trade. If it didn't and the cross still happened, I got in, that's a B trade. That's it. I only have two areas away. I call it. That's the only way. I keep it simple. I don't. And the important part is your psychology. If you broke your rules, that's what you need to document. I don't break the rules anymore, but when I did, and I have, guys, I have gotten in and moved stops or not had stops, and I have gotten myrtleized years ago. But that's what you kind of want to document.
Israeli military says siren sounded in northern Israel.
Siren sound in northern Israel, that's probably not good. It looks like buyers may want to step in here. You're not wrong. Hey, Generic, I replied to your email, so I know that I sent it. I'll check again. I have your email there. I'll try to forward it from a different email. See if that's a problem. I'll send it to you here in a little bit. Okay, yeah, go ahead and send that. Well, that's very bad news.
We did hear it earlier, but just
The advance did not go.
Time saying Vance remains in Washington to attend
That should
the
be
critical meeting for the White House.
negative catalyst as well. So All right, hey guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I got some other business to take care of. So we had a profitable day. I hope you did too. And Generic, I'll get back to you. I'll look at the email. I'll send it to you, brother. All right.